Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Hi, I am Arohi Tyagi, Associate Dean here at AAFT Online. And I, on behalf of the entire AAFT Online family, welcome you all to this exclusive webinar on fashion styling. And we have none other than Mr. Amit Sachdev with us. Well, he's a renowned Indian fashion designer and stylist known for his luxurious handcrafted women's wear that blends Indian artistry with modern silhouettes. A Pearl Academy alumnus, he launched Amit Sachdeva Studio in 2009 after gaining experience in the export industry. His designs merge Western cuts with Indian detailing, showcasing expertise in textiles and unique fabric. Well, celebrities such as Tanisha Mukherjee and Sana Khan have worn his creations. Recognized by Purnia's pop up show, he shares insights via @Fashion is Pink as well. And his Gurgaon based studio serves a global clientele with bespoke elegance. So, without further ado, let me welcome Mr. Amit here. Hi, Amit, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
All well, Amit. Waiting eagerly to hear from you and listen to you.
Sure, and thank you for such a wonderful introduction for me.
Absolutely our honor and privilege. And to all the attendees over here, in case you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box, which is located right below on your screens. And after the talk, we'll be taking them up soon. All right. So all yours, Amit.
Okay, thank you. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. So I'm going to talk about how to infuse sustainable designs into an individual's personal style. How often have we heard these words recently? Sustainable fashion, slow fashion, fast fashion. These are the words that we keep hearing. And I just wanted to make clear if we're really sure about what these mean, actually. Well, I would like to start with a very breathtaking fact that almost 5, 6 years ago, I was just doing a research and I bumped into this fact where, I would just start with, I'm wearing this linen shirt today, and you will be zapped to know the amount of water that goes into manufacturing this shirt for me. This linen shirt takes about 600 liters of water to manufacture it. I'm talking about right from the irrigation to the final product. 600 liters is 70 buckets of water. And if you talk about a cotton shirt, it takes 2,500 liters, which is equivalent to 166 buckets of water. A pair of jeans takes 500 buckets of water, which is almost 10,000 liters. Is almost your bathing water supply for 1.5 years. You're using one bucket a day. So this is what one should be aware if you want to get into sustainable fashion. There are so many more things. So I'm going to start with just giving you an idea about what sustainable fashion means so that we are clear about it. So clothing made in a way that's kind to the planet, to the people, to future generations, leaving no or very little carbon footprints. You use eco-friendly materials and promoting fair practices as well while the production. So here are a few principles of sustainable designing, which first of all is ethical sourcing. So where your fabric is coming from, where all of your raw material is coming from, that comes under ethical sourcing. Reusing and repurposing. So let's say again, if you're using or upcycling or recycling a particular product that's already made, and then you're reselling it or reusing it, that is reusing or repurposing. So you could be using low impact dyes and fabrics, like there are certain dyes which do not harm the environment. So having these kind of practices wearing or making timeless silhouettes which are not a part of quick trends that we see, which would last longer in your wardrobe. And also supporting local artisans, the craftsmanship that we have. Like India is known for handlooms and so many other crafts that we are really proud about. So these are some of the principles of sustainable designing that can be inculcated in a brand. If we talk about a brand that sources, I would like to give you an example of what a sustainable brand would be. Uh, Somebody who would source discarded fabrics or waste fabrics and patch them together and create a collection with silhouettes that's trendy yet it's classic, like maybe a button-down shirt, or creates a skirt with it using block printing. And the brand also makes sure that the factory conditions are optimum for their workers. They have the required certifications, like for the kind of fabrics they are using. Their packaging is eco-friendly. And we can somewhat call this kind of a brand a sustainable brand, so to say. So I am now going to talk about what an individual styling is. So an individual styling or a personal styling is the unique way someone dresses that will reflect their personality, their taste, and their lifestyle. So let's talk about a girl called Ria, who is a graphic designer, works for a social media firm. She's introverted, loves nature, prefers comfort over trends, and she has a rectangular shaped body type. So instead of wearing flashy outfits, she chooses earthy tones, cottons or linen fabrics, and simple silhouettes. She likes handmade jewelry, carries maybe a canvas tote, and she picks minimal dresses with sustainable fabrics, prefers light makeup. So all this would reflect her personality, which would be creative, grounded, minimalistic, and eco-conscious. So to sum it all, her style, her individual style would be comfortable, simple, and sustainable. Whereas if we have another girl called Shreya, if we talk about her body type, she's petite and curvy and goes to a fashion school, is extroverted, likes bling, and her style is not very modest. Uh, she would probably like to style the same skirt in a different way, which is something like this on the screen. So basically, styling is not just putting clothes together. It also includes your accessories, your makeup, your hair, and all these elements that probably would express your personality, of course, your mood, your story, and the kind of individual you are. So, well, now that we understand personal styling, which is knowing what suits your body type, what suits your personality and lifestyle, and also understanding sustainable fashion, which is being mindful of your choices for the planet, let's now explore how the two can come together. So personal styling could be for a celebrity or a non-celebrity as well. And for example, when you do a personal styling for a celebrity, you would think of the kind of event that a particular celebrity is going to. You would obviously ask certain questions about, or maybe observe things like her skin tone, her height, her body type, and if there is a theme for the event, like we just recently had the Met Gala and there was a theme to it. So these are the questions that you would be addressing to while doing a styling for a celebrity. And if you're doing it for a non-celebrity, a client like that, you would obviously want to know the insights into their lifestyle. You could ask them what kind of work they do, or if they are a working professional or not. What kind of profession is it? Is it a field job, or is it a job to sit in the cabin all the time? Or are they into a creative job, or it's a corporate job? So all these questions would help you to understand the kind of personal style and the comfort that is needed by your client in order to help them style their wardrobe. So I'm just going to take a bit and explain you how personal styling and sustainable fashion can be met. Let's say um, if you were to suggest your client that I am going to give you a particular wardrobe or a capsule wardrobe that can be sustainable at the same time, these are the points that you can take care of. One is conscious wardrobe building. Uh, you can offer long lasting pieces that reflect the client's style as well, and explain them that overconsumption is not really good for the environment, and it is always better to go for choices which are going to stay for longer, the styles which are going to stay longer for them. And probably you can suggest them how to wear an outfit in multiple ways, rewear, restyle, how they can maybe with one outfit create different looks and styles. Um, you can guide them with their buying choices. Uh, you could suggest them brands that are ethical and sustainable. Brands, there are a couple of brands in India which are having these certifications as well. You can look for these brands and suggest them to make choices among these brands. You could also give them tips about mindful shopping habits. Um, like you could tell them that they should prefer quality over quantity, and buying less is better. Whereas if you buy a quality product, it's always better to go for something that will last you long in terms of durability. And you can also pitch in an emotional connection that you can bridge the gap between the story of an outfit and how an individual can actually see that story and feel for it. Styling is personal. Sustainability adds that personal depth to it. And the clients feel proud to wear clothes that reflect both who they are and what they stand for. So it totally depends on how you guide your client to understand the value behind a piece, not just the look. Tell them the story behind a brand, the story of the artisan who made it. Maybe you can, if you're suggesting a block printed kurta to your client or a sari, you could take them, give them just a bit of a back end story as to how long does it take to manufacture this, how this sari, or what actually is the artisan being paid to manufacture a block printed sari like that, and how many hours have gone into it, and how that is also, if they're using vegetable dyes, how that is more friendly to the environment. We as professionals would know all these stories, but our client most likely doesn't happen to know it. And as a stylist, it's our job to educate them about it. So as a personal stylist, one can have and generate more awareness in order to inspire people to adopt the practice of sustainable fashion in many ways. So if we talk about inspiring or convincing the client to make sustainable choices, here are a few uh, tips I can give you that I have been giving to my clients, and it has been really effective in uh, sort of opening their eyes towards sustainable fashion and adopting them, and not just while I'm just giving them the styling for that short period, but they have made it a practice, they have made it their lifestyle to actually inculcate them in their wardrobes. So one of the examples is you can tell them to invest over expenses, and you could probably tell them to invest in 2 pairs of high quality shoes, and they're ethically made, and they would last 5 years instead of 5 cheap pairs that would be out in 6 months. And so you're kind of giving them a, a, a way to cut down their expenses as well, and telling them a way how they can invest in a product rather than just following the fashion. Um, then you can also explain them the power of repeating, which is we've been seeing many Bollywood stars repeating their outfits recently. And let's, for example, take Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. They would wear the exact same color and the exact same turtleneck t-shirt or a black t-shirt to work every day, and still make an impact while doing these things. And okay, so we can also explain something like a wardrobe flexibility to them, where a client can save closet space, and with the same kind of outfit, they can create different looks. Maybe, let's say, if you're suggesting a client to wear a blazer, she can wear that blazer to a meeting with a shirt underneath it. She can repeat that blazer, go out for a party. She can just change her shirt into a t-shirt and go out for a party or lunch with friends. She could wear the same blazer with sneakers and go out traveling somewhere. So basically suggesting them functional choices of outfits in their wardrobe, that is also in a way encouraging them to make sustainable choices. Uh, Also briefing them about the old money aesthetics, which are really popular since the last 1 year, that wearing labels and big monograms is not the way to go. You should always focus on minimal designs, which also creates a brand value for them. And these days, we've also been seeing that it's becoming really cool on Instagram. A lot of influencers have been promoting all of the sustainable style and slow fashion. So it has kind of become cool to be a part of that. And it also has a high signaling value on social media. Let's say if you do you can encourage your client to post a story of what uh, a story behind telling the audience a story behind what exactly where exactly the outfit that they're wearing is coming from, how sustainable it is. So all these things actually inspire people in a very subconscious way to make sustainable choices, and you can achieve your target through these practices with your clients. Well, having said that, India is facing quite a few challenges to adopt sustainable fashion yet. Uh, there's a cultural mindset. In India, wearing used clothes is often seen as low status or inauspicious sometimes. Um and there is being the fabric hub, and availability of cheap fabrics in affordable prices is making it harder for sustainable options to compete, because obviously sustainable options more or less are a little on the steeper side as compared to fast fashion. So that is again another hindrance for sustainable fashion in India for now. There is lack of awareness in people. People really don't know what exactly sustainable fashion means. So there also, I mean, if you look at the West, there is the concept of thrift markets and vintage clothing, that people have so many outlets that they can go to and pick up big brands at very affordable prices. So something like that, like an organized thrift market, is really missing in India for now. But we can definitely see that coming in future. Well, having said that, we can't completely rule out sustainability in fashion in our country. We may be facing these challenges, the challenges that I just mentioned in India, but we've also been seeing this sustainability in a very subtle way in our country. Here is how. So, sorry. Okay, so I would like to give you an example where your grandmother had a silk sari and she passes it on to your mother. and she's been having it since the last 20 years, and she makes sure that she preserves that silk sari in a certain way so that it doesn't get deteriorated over time, because silk happens to deteriorate over time. And then she passes it on to you, and then you kind of try to repurpose it, revamp it, take it to a tailor, uh, get an occasion wear Indian jacket, like a classic silhouette done from it, and you wear it and you keep it for a longer period of time as well. So this is something that we've been seeing over ages, people doing that. And this is sustainable fashion that has been in the country since a long time. Your grandmother, she contributed for passing it on to your mother. Your mom contributed by safely preserving that sari for you. And you're now revamping it and repurposing it into a silhouette that is slow fashion. He also provided work to a local tailor. You save something that could have gone into trash and to add it to the environmental waste. So this practice, we can totally say that have been carrying out in India from ages. And heirloom is such a beautiful concept that we've had in our country from a long time. And the Gen Z, basically, I've been seeing a lot of influencers promoting possessing heirlooms and the power of that. So now let's talk about what is the scope of sustainable fashion in India. And if we were to talk about doing styling in a way that it supports sustainable fashion, in a way that it is acceptable to a larger audience, here are the ways that I can see the scope in India for sustainable fashion to grow in the coming years. So we have been seeing rising rent and raw material costs for brands. So this is a big opportunity for the new designers to actually use leftover fabrics from export houses to create capsule collections, which can be low cost, low waste, and they can even come up with unique designs if they're using such leftover fabrics. And with high rentals and such heavy fixed costs, it is good for a startup or a new designer to actually do cost cutting and come up with a brand like that. So we've been seeing lately a lot of new brands coming up in the market, which are who have been carrying out these practices and have been doing pretty well. And obviously, we've seen the influencer culture and the social media. Everybody's promoting thrifting, outfit repeating, upcycling, revamping, and brands like, Lulu Thrift and Delhi Vintage Company. And they've been selling pre-loved clothing for Westerns like Zara, Mango, and designer clothes to young Indians. And so, yeah, definitely this is growing. And if we talk about this is also a starter-friendly market where the government is also supporting designers to and funding designers to carry on such brands. And it's become very easy to create a brand like this. You just create the clothes and you shoot them and you put up a little shop on Instagram to sell it. So it is a very supportive environment these days to open a brand like that. And as I just mentioned before, Indian tradition supports sustainability. India has always used wedding lehengas and saris, like I said, and something called, I don't know how well known is it, a fact that you get things ruffled from a tailor if there is some repairing kind which is required, like a sari is torn from a certain place, they can be darned or ruffled and then can be reused, or maybe putting a patch there to kind of make it aesthetically better, and using that's been going on in India for a long time. And also Bollywood has been actually inspiring very lately to adopt this trend of sustainability. We have seen many celebrities like Alia Bhatt and Deepika Padukone wearing and repeating their outfits, not once, but more than that. So the Bollywood influence also makes it very inspirational for Indians who are so inspired by Bollywood. And even in promoting craft, we've seen Bollywood has a big role to play. For example, I mean, if there is a stylist who really wants to dress up a celebrity and also promote a particular craft, we've just recently seen Alia Bhatt, who wore Abu Jani Sandeep Khosla and at an award event in Abu Dhabi. And she was wearing this beautiful Ajrak print sari, as you can see on the screen, and she looked lovely. It was draped in a very fusion way. It was going with the theme, and it went so viral that people really wanted to know the craft behind it. And the designer duo, they very beautifully displayed and explained how this and the stylist as well, how this craft is losing out and is not able to get enough work. The craftsmen are not able to get enough work, and people should be supporting it. And it got really, and as per my research, I saw the sales of Ajrak prints going really, really high in the last 2 years. And this was very impactful. And another example that I would take was when Kareena Kapoor so many years ago wore Sharmila Tagore's wedding outfit. She got a few repairs and alterations done in order to fit into that outfit. That is also an example of sustainable fashion, and that is commendable. And these are the very little examples that people get inspired with to actually do that in their personal lives. So I would just like to go and brief you a little about the Indian brands that have certifications. And it's very important to know these certifications for you to tell your clients about. The certifications are GOTS, it's called the Global Organic Textile Standards. These are used for many Indian brands and manufacturers, ensure the cotton is organic and processed sustainably. Includes social standards like fair wages and no child labor also. So these certifications also ensure that the brands that have these certifications, they're proper auditing done to make sure that these practices are actually valid there. There is OCS, Organic Content Standard, where they ensure that the fiber content that is being used is organic genuinely. Then there is an Indian Organic NPOP certification that brands have. There is the Indian Handloom Mark to ensure that the product that you are selling is certified and it is made as a handloom. So because there's a lot of greenwashing we've been seeing happening in the clothing industry. People claim that their product is organic or made from organic textile, or it is handloom, but in actual it is not. So some of the brands who have these certifications are Hemp Yoga Shop, there is B Label, Nicobar, Doodlage, Fab India, Anokhi, Raw Mango. So it is good that, as professionals, we all know about these brands, and it can only help to create awareness about these certifications and these brands. And if we talk about the sustainable fabrics that we have, it includes organic, rain-fed cotton, which is different from any other cotton. This kind of cotton is mainly found in Odisha and Madhya Pradesh, where rain-fed means you're not using any physical irrigation to irrigate the plant. You are only depending on rain. So this consumes less water and there is no fertilizer being used. Linen, again, as I said, uses less water compared to many other fabrics. And there is hemp seed fabric, which again uses very little water and requires very little care also to grow the crop. And tencel, which is made from wood, it's not very sustainable, but compared to the others, it is quite sustainable, you can say. And yeah, I think I have covered most of the topics that I wanted to. Aravi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Amit. In fact, it was a lovely, thing which you shared with us about, how we can use the old things and, make them look new. And of course, the power of Bollywood and all this has really helped people to look forward to this. All right. So, to all the learners, if you have any questions, you can just drop them in the Q&A box, and I'll be taking those questions up. And before I take those questions, a little reminder to all of you that in case you want to, learn more about fashion styling and you are interested to formally do a course in it. So we at AAFT, we do provide a diploma in fashion styling wherein you can, move your level of passion for fashion styling to another level where you can make it a profession as well, and also build in a portfolio which can attract high profile clients as well. So in case you want to learn more about this diploma program, you want to know what all we are going to teach in this 1 year program, you can just drop in a message or send in an email to us on these numbers and email ID, and we'll be happy to get in touch with you. All right. So, Amit, we have few questions coming in. So, I'll just take them up for you one by
Sure.
one. Yeah. Okay. So, the first question is by Rajat, and he's asking that how do we define purposeful styling in the context of today's fashion industry?
Hi, Rajat. Purposeful styling would be, to me, I would say, would be, of course, something where you are. It is meaningful in a way where it is justifying the personality first of all, and you're taking care of the sustainability factor as we discussed right now, and you're taking care of comfort of a person, and you're also taking care of the entire lifestyle. It is conducive of all these things, and that is going to be for me, that is purposeful styling, I would say.
All right, great. Thank you for answering that, Amit. Another question we have in here is by Saad, and he's asking that what advice would you give to stylists who are trying to educate their clients about sustainable fashion choices?
Okay, so you can always inspire them by telling them stories about, let's say, if you're referring them to a particular brand and you take them out shopping. Let's talk about that. And you introduce them to brands maybe on social media first, and then you show them that, let's talk about a brand called Nicobar. The kind of you tell them the certifications they have, it's not greenwashing happening. You show them the kind of styles. You shortlist a few brands that goes with, of course, the personality of the client, and then you educate them about, give them a little briefing of the story of the brand. These days every brand has a reel or a story that kind of introduces and talks about what practices they've been inculcating in the manufacturing processes. So you expose them to these brands, then you tell them that one particular outfit can be styled in many different ways. You give them ideas like that, and then you also focus on the point that having silhouettes in your wardrobe that which are classic silhouettes that will go on for long, compared to fast fashion brands, will help them save money as well, and also give them more space in their wardrobe eventually. So give them references from the Bollywood stars who've been, in India, fashion is equal to Bollywood, so everybody is inspired by what they are doing. So these are the things that you can kind of pitch to your client and make them inspired to do this. You can tell them to. I have seen with many clients of mine, they love to talk about their story. If somebody asks them in a event they go to, like she's wearing a kantha sari, and somebody asks me, Ahel, I really like your sari, and she would actually go and feel proud to tell the story behind where it is made, and how she sourced it. So we have to kind of educate people. It's our responsibility to educate them first, so that they can spread the awareness as well. They can be their little influencers in their own way, in their own circle. So yeah.
Yeah, right. Absolutely agree with you. Okay, Mehak has a question, and she's saying that I'm planning to start a sustainable fashion label that focuses on providing solid clothes, because she says that, solid clothes can be worn in multiple ways, and, we can style them up also in multiple ways. So she wants to understand your opinion on this. What is your opinion?
Well, I guess, and it totally depends on what kind of sustainability are you targeting. Are you targeting on the whole, like if you want the fabric to be sustainable, you want to go for those, then it's really a good idea, because but then you need to have, first of all, decide a brand story for your brand. Like, what are you targeting? Is it made out of waste? Is it a combination of all these factors? Are you, like she said, she wants to do solids because it I'm presuming she wants to go for something which is like a separates that you can mix and match with other pieces in your wardrobe. That's what I'm assuming she's aiming at. So that has a lot of scope, since people, the selling separates is a big thing now, and people want to invest in these, because a lot of Instagram is full of influencers who've been offering these styling tips, where how you can mix and match your shirt with in different ways. So yes, it's a very good way, but I would always suggest to go for certifications, which is very, very important, because people these days are very, very educated. They are reading about it. There is awareness about it. So it is always great to have a good backing, and it might take some time, but it is eventually going to be very fruitful to your brand, and it is a very good idea for sure.
Of course, getting a certification would be very, very helpful for her, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Akansha Goma has a question. She's asking that how is the availability of cheap fashion a challenge? How does it pose a challenge to the sustainable industry?
See, obviously, cheap fashion, as we also call it as fast fashion, is, I mean, how we define it, the key points would be, it these clothes are made very quickly, or they follow the quick trends. It's made cheap because the quantities are very large. Zara, H&M, Uniqlo are great example, and Zudio recently are great example of these brands. And we've been seeing it's all over social media. We can't deny the fact that the conditions in which these articles are manufactured in Bangladesh and in several other countries, they are not at all. They're completely very harmful. There's child labor involved, and so at every level, I would say, if you talk about, let's say, if you pick up a T-shirt from Zara today, and which is not a basic T-shirt, it's a fast-moving trend. You get a silhouette today, and next year you would go to Zara again, and or maybe the following season, you would find 10 other options which are uh, so quickly made, and you would see a complete turnout of a different collection altogether. You will not find your piece anywhere, so you'll feel left out. And it's all over Instagram, and you would have a FOMO of I'm missing out on these design, and let me buy it. And everything is there on Instagram as well, and online shopping. Everything is just a part of fast fashion, and it is adding to the waste. The kind of fabrics they're using are not biodegradable, and we don't know what's happening to these fabrics. We're just discarding it without even knowing that where are they going. They're piling up it in lakhs and lakhs of numbers, and it's not a hidden fact at all. So yeah, in every way, it is not conducive for the environment.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a practical truth that you just told. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Rutika and Prashanu, they both want to know more about, the jobs which are available there as a fashion stylist, as in what job roles can a fashion stylist apply for, and how do one go and reach, these celebs or high profile clients as a fashion stylist?
Okay. So as a fashion stylist, you can obviously do personal styling or image consultants, as we call it. Although there's a difference between image consultant also has to do with etiquettes, with your personal grooming, apart from personal styling as well, for men and women. So personal styling basically can be for a particular client who doesn't know much about fashion, wants to build a wardrobe, uh, 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 wants to figure out their styling, their personal style. So the stylist kind of guides them to find that out, to or takes them on a journey to discover their style, and helps them build their wardrobe. There could be styling for celebrities, as you said, obviously. Then you could also be designing props, or there is set designing as well for shoots that designers do for movies or for stage performances. You could be styling those. You could be styling ramp shows, runways, and like I said, for photo shoots as well. And we've been seeing a lot of bridal stylists these days. Brides, they want to hire personal stylists for each occasion. They want to make sure that the kind of lighting there is at the event is going with their outfit. The groom and the bride are very cohesive. They're complementing each other in terms of colors. They actually take bridal stylists along for shopping, and so these are. I mean, on top of my mind, these are the styling opportunities in terms of career that you can go for. And if you talk about the latter part of the question, which is styling celebrities, uh, the best way is to first of all, you need a good amount of designers in your kitty who are ready to work with you. Collect their portfolios, their lookbooks, and start with that. Have a handful of them that also goes with the kind of celebrities that you're targeting. You cannot be just randomly focusing on each and every celebrity. There has to be a certain choice which you stand for, which you can specialize and say that's my niche. And figure out those celebrities, uh, and build up your portfolio using these. And maybe, let's say, if you say that I'm going to style, let's say, 10 celebrities, Alia Bhatt, Deepika Padukone, XYZ, whatever it is, then make a portfolio which has these celebrities and the kind of styling with the designers that you are going to offer to them. Make a portfolio like that. And then the first thing to go about is to approach these stylists that you can assist. uh, could be for photo shoots for these celebrities, could be for events, could be for magazine covers, could be for anything. Start approaching these stylists. In Most of them are in Mumbai, so start approaching them, send them your portfolios, and write them an email and approach them like this, and get an opportunity to work under a stylist for at least a year, so that you have the experience, and then build up your portfolio, your Instagram page, and where you also, obviously, you're allowed to tag everybody, and build up your portfolio over your experience, and then start doing your work as well as a stylist. That's the best way.
Right. I think that was a very useful, advice and tip which you gave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, another question which is popping up is that when we talk about sustainable fashion, how does it align with someone's pocket also? Because sustainability means, of course, those things come at a higher price. So how can we align that with pocket-friendly things? Your take on it, how do we do it?
See, it's not very easy. But yet I can't we can't deny the fact it can be done. Also, to start with, one can slowly introduce yourself to a couple of brands, and uh, you know, try and figure out, make a list maybe of, let's say, I don't know how many people make a shopping list or not, what they're going to buy for this summer or for winter. Have a budget, and if you're a starter, then probably make a list and have a budget, and then start slowly. Maybe invest in uh, 2 to 3 outfits to start with, and buy it from a brand. And most of these brands, as I said, they would obviously last you for long. Let's say a t-shirt that you're buying from Nicobar would last you 5 years as compared to a Zara t-shirt. So you have to understand that this mindset has to be understood by you, and you you have to first, obviously, you would buy it, and then you would use it, and you would realize over a period of time, and then you would get more comfortable with the fact, and eventually you'll get there. So uh, initially it might be difficult, but once you get your way through it, you start doing it, you would realize that it's realizing also that if you're spending 5K on a Nicobar and 2K on a Zara, then you can style that Nicobar with 10 other things, and try and build your wardrobe in that way. So these are a few things that you can keep in mind, and do that for your wardrobe.
Understood, Amit. But there is something which is called as impulse buying, which we see generally with the Gen Z today. The moment they step in, I mean, just like the example you gave, 5,000 for a Nicobar and 2,000 for a Zara. And then there is this mindset that in that 5,000, I can buy two pieces from Zara, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is another mindset which kids today have, or the young generation has. And what about that?
So obviously, I mean, you have to understand also the story behind it. So story, the value that brand is creating in many different ways, where they are the practices that they're having with their the environment, the work environment that they are offering. There has to be some kind of compassion also. I think it's sustainability. You have to understand. You have to keep yourself in check. That I think it's a mindset. That's why I said the shift has cannot be really sudden. You cannot just one day decide that, okay, I am not going to buy Zara at this shopping spree. So it is a very gradual shift, like I said, and it's a mindset. So you have to make yourself understand, and with experience, you realize all these things. Uh, Maybe start making one purchase, two purchases in one season, and then at the end of the year, you will realize that this t-shirt has lasted me, the color hasn't faded. I am supporting a brand that is helping the environment, and I've also been able to style it in many different ways. So that whole journey is very important, I feel. So you have to really experience it in a way that you can actually see that being inculcated in yourself, and you will not even realize in some time that you would not want to pick up 3 t-shirts compared to one from Nicobar.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Radhika has a question, and she says that what are other sustainable fabrics, and what are the other more sustainable techniques which we can use to develop prints, right? Other than the screen or the block printing.
You mean she means that are sustainable and
Yes, that are sustainable.
okay. Uh, the sustainable form of the first question was, sorry.
What are the other sustainable fabrics other than the ones I think you mentioned?
Okay, so other than that, I would say anything that is we've been getting long variety of fabrics that mostly most of the natural fabrics. We have fabrics made from pineapple fiber, which is obviously a waste product. Uh, we have fabrics made from the raw banana skin. We have fabrics being there. There's so many. There's been silk being made from lotus. There's there's so many options these days that are available. So I think the list is endless. We don't see them. It's not very easy to procure, but you can definitely find out ways where you can get your hands on it. There is something called Eri Silk from Assam. We are the only country producing Eri Silk. It is a sustainable fabric because the in the other silk fabrics, what happens is they kill the worm to get the silk from the cocoon, and this is the only silk available in the world which picks up the cocoons from the forests when after the larva has left the cocoon. So they're not killing the animal. So they're just picking up the waste and utilizing that silk to the fiber to make that silk fabric, which is again very sustainable. But I made a collection on Eri silk, and we got a very good response. And we did create a story, and we explained people as to how it's made, and people found it really really amazing how they didn't even know about this silk. It's more popular in the northeast part of India. But yeah, so there are many. You just need to do more research. Maybe there are 50 more that I'm missing out on, but yes, there are quite a few of them. And the second part of the
Yeah,
question,
the second part was how to develop prints on them other than using screen or block printing.
basically any kind of printing that you can do with the colors and dyes which are not harming the environment uh, could be a part of a sustainable form of a printing, because these dyes or colors cannot be used in bulk production like rotary prints, because it's not very practical to use these things that, I mean, if you talk about vegetable dyes, they cannot be used on a very large scale because they need very high temperature but it is great. I mean, I've seen people using flowers and leaves and using their colors and imprints on fabrics. So this is called natural printing. You take leaves and you put it in the fabric and you steam the fabric, and actually hammer these imprints on the cloth, and you you steam them, and then they leave their own imprint on the fabric. And tie and dye, that's another kind of printing, that any kind of resist printing, bandhani, all these being done at a very small scale and using these kind of dyes which are eco-friendly, uh, promoting artisans, obviously, things like I said, batik and so many other prints. I can't even talk about Ajrak. There are so many other prints. Yes, the indigo printing that we have.
Yes.
So yeah, all these the what India really stands for. There is a cut there. You dye it, but there's a print effect if you once you get it on the fabric.
Yes, yes,
So, yeah.
absolutely. Yes. Okay, Mehak, the one who wanted to launch a solid clothes brand, she again has a question that how do I promote these solid clothes in a fun and educational way?
Okay. Well, the best way to promote it is Instagram. I mean, social media has great power, as we all know. Create a story around it. Show your face. Get yourself comfortable with the camera, and talk about it in a creative way. Maybe as a startup, I'm just assuming that you would not like to spend much initially on your brand, but the best part of social media today is the content that goes really viral is the one which is more candid, which has that personal touch to it. You could wear your own clothes and talk about it, tell them a story, tell them maybe you create a reel that I recently saw this girl who was you know she bakes. She's a lawyer and she bakes. She makes these bombolonis, and she created this story. She took up a challenge where she wanted to do a sale of 1 lakh in 30 days, and she went viral with her stories. She would do narratives, just do stories about her childhood and just narrate them as a voiceover and just show visuals of her making things. So you could start by maybe showing your design process, how that is happening, and then basically create engaging content. And on social media, uh, creating a range. Obviously, you would be creating a collection to a photo shoot nicely, get these certifications, uh, maybe try to offer different styling ways on your Instagram for people to know how they can be used, teaming them up with prints or whatever. So there are many ways that you can go about it to create an impact. And yes, obviously have a catchy label that kind of stands for your brand, which really helps.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Sharath has a question that what do we need to keep in mind in order to become successful in this field of fashion styling?
Hmm, what do you need to keep in mind?
Yes.
Uh,
Maybe some tips from your end. How can one become a good fashion stylist or something like that?
okay. So I think first of all, you need to obviously learn fashion and styling. Fashion, obviously, when you go for a fashion styling course, you taught the fundamentals of fashion first, which includes how to sew, how to everything, all the technical skills and everything, and then you go on to color theories, how to understand that, how to put colors together. You should have uh, depends on what kind of stylist you want to become as well. You need to be clear on that as well, and uh, be aware of what's happening in the world currently in terms of celebrities, who's wearing what. Uh, like I said, the brands uh, obviously that are there, and the designers who are working. You have to be on top of everything basically, and have a good eye for color combinations. Study what kind of body types there are. So I'm sure that this kind of education is all given to you while you do your styling course. Body types, what suits what body type, the colors that go for different skin tones, and uh, know what kind of fabrics exist, what kind of prints. All these they kind of help you a long way, obviously, and your extra bit of research always helps you in all these things. Like if you want to become a stylist for movies, uh, we see Sanjay Leela Bansali movies, and they're so aesthetic. They're like a visual treat to look at, and there is this whole color coordination going on with the garments and the backdrop. Everything is just designed by the stylist and the art directors. It's a teamwork. So if you want to get into that, I have a couple of friends who've been doing that, and that's another very exciting career opportunity that is booming, because we've been seeing a lot of Bollywood directors hiring such stylists. So yeah, knowing first of all, being clear in your mind what kind of stylist you want to become, and I think then kind of refines down to what exactly you should focus more on. If you want to become a bridal stylist, all the big designers, or the category of designers that you have, right from Chandni Chowk to what kind of budget a bride has. Be aware of all these things. The makeup part as well. You need to know about the makeup and the accessories available, where to source these things from. Could be rented from where for photo shoots. You take a couple of things on rent, and so being street smart is also important. Where to source things from it plays a very key role in becoming a stylist. And this can only be done through experience and going out in the market, and good networking, and trying to find out where to source what from, because sourcing is a very important part of it.
Absolutely. And to all the attendees and learners here, whatever Amit mentioned, that you need to understand about the body types, the different fabrics, how different fabrics would look on a particular body type, the color combinations, the color schemes, etc. you all can learn in this 1 year diploma program, which we offer at AAFT, and that will be right from the comfort of your home. So in case you want to learn more about, this course, or you want to inquire when the batch is starting, you can drop in a email or drop in a message or give us a call, and we'll be happy to get in touch with you. So save these numbers, save this email ID, and we'll get in touch with you on this. So, Amit, thank you so much for such a wonderful session. I mean, it was very educational and very helpful and very insightful. And yes, we'll keep all these tips in mind which you shared with us. And before, we end, just one little question from our end, that what would be that one advice to all the budding fashion stylists from your end? Just maybe a one-liner.
I think in one line, if I have to say, it would be first work on yourself, figure out your own personal style, because only if you do that can you style others.
Get that,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and it's a journey, and through your experience, only can you understand others.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
on that note, we'll end this webinar for today. Thank you everyone for joining in. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.